Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Soul Talk with WURA. You all mean so much to me, and I appreciate you for always sending me messages of support, praying for me, and listening in every Thursday. Today, I am so blessed to be in the studio with a super smart, gorgeous, and hardworking lady, NICOLE SELLARS, the owner of the TV Hosting Academy. Welcome, NICOLE.
Thank you so much for having me. That was quite an intro.
Yes, you are. You encompass everything that I've said. She launched a TV Hosting Academy in 2012 when she realized the lack of support for professionals in need of getting camera ready for guest sports, TV interviews, and book tours. She started out as a producer at MTV Networks in New York City and went on to pursue a career in broadcast journalism. She is now a resident of Atlanta.
Yes.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you. I love being here.
And she continues to bring her performance skills to TV and film as a professional actress. She appeared in top-rate TV shows, the following: The Resident on Fox, Tyler Perry's Nobody's Fool, Devious Maids, and the upcoming DC Universe's Swamp Thing.
That's so exciting. I can't even wait for it.
Wow.
May 31st, it's coming out.
I saw that. Well, that's huge. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But before we even talk about this phenomenal things that are going on in your life, I wanted to just get to know who is NICOLE.
Oh,
and how did NICOLE SELLARS become NICOLE SELLARS?
Oh my goodness. Gosh, after college, I, like many graduates, didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yep.
I knew I loved TV and film. I knew I loved production. I knew I loved writing. I really thought I was going to be a screenwriter when I graduated.
Wow.
I really didn't know. But I was fortunate enough to get an interview at MTV Networks, and I landed a job as a PA, production assistant. I would have worked in the mailroom as long as I got in the door.
Close to your dream.
Close to my dream. I was just so excited. So when I was there, I was given a lot of opportunities to interview celebrities and write promos and commercials, and they had given me so much freedom, creative freedom, that I really just ran with it. So after MTV Networks, a few years later, I was there about 3 years, and I had wonderful opportunities. Unfortunately, Viacom, the parent company, had a lot of layoffs, and I was one of those who were cut, and I was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in this point in my life where I thought I was going to be there forever. I was going to be, an executive producer. I really thought I was going to rise up the ranks and be there forever and never leave. So when life just throws things at you, you got to deal with them.
Exactly.
And I turned the corner, and a friend of mine at the time, I was basically coming off the unemployment line. She said, I don't know if you're interested, but there's this broadcast journalism intensive course over the summer, and if you'd like, join me. It might be fun.
Wow.
And I had, graduated with a mass comm degree, but never really went into broadcast journalism. I knew it was something I would love to do because I loved interviewing, I loved writing, I loved storytelling. So, I jumped right in. I took this course. I kind of went out on a limb, and I remember walking up to the news director that first day, and I was like, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I said, "Hi, my name's NICOLE SELLARS. Nice to meet you. I don't plan on staying here long. I just, I'm going to really work really hard to make a demo reel and get a job so I can move on with my life." And he just looked at me like, pat me on the head. "Oh, okay, good." So I was just so excited, and he just said, "Okay, go for it." Wow. So I started writing, producing, shooting video, editing, and I was so fortunate because this broadcast journalism hands-on course was in the #1 news market in the country. It was in New York. So I was working alongside these journalists who have worked their way up the ranks back to New York City, and I'm covering the same stories that they are as this little entry-level reporter. So there I am with all these bigwigs, and I'm, shouting out questions at the courthouse, and I'm interviewing politicians, and I'm interviewing celebrities, and I'm just running with it. So that really taught me to gain confidence and to just go after what you want and not to be afraid, no matter what. Yeah. Regardless of your experience, you just have to go after your dreams.
I love that.
And
going after your dreams.
Really, because so many people get caught up with, well, I don't have the experience, and I'm not good enough, and I don't really know what I want to do with my life, so maybe now's not the right time, or I have too many kids, or just there's so many excuses that people come up with, and some are valid, and I get that, but I try to inspire people to just go after it. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, you change course.
The door closes, another one opens.
Another one opens.
Exactly.
So after this summer course, I stuck to my word, and after 6 weeks, I made a demo reel, and I was extremely fortunate to land a job as a general assignment news reporter on Long Island, where I'm from, Long Island, New York. And I was a general assignment reporter, and I was covering all the big stories. I would do some stories in the city, which is, Manhattan. When you're from Long Island, you say the city. That's Manhattan. So yeah, I was there for a few years, and I just kept climbing up the ranks. I would go to the next station and the next station, and before I knew it, I was anchoring. I got some great job opportunities. I was a full-time weekend anchor for a couple stations in New York, and life happens, and my husband got transferred to a job in Cleveland. So I packed up my little backpack and our family, and we went to Cleveland. And when I was there, I was really focused on being a mom and enjoying my time there with him. And I said, after 6 months, I'm getting kind of bored now. I think I need something else to do, because I had all this bottled up energy and creativity. And as much as I love my children and my family, I said, Mommy needs something else going on. And so I knocked on the door at the NBC station in Cleveland.
You literally
yes, I did.
Wow.
I did. And I was fortunate enough to get an interview with the news director. And I said to her, I know you have a lot of reporters, and I know you have a lot of talented people here, but I think I can offer you something.
Oh, my gosh. Nicole is bold.
I swear, and on a whim, I came up with a segment that they did not have, and that's something that I truly believe they needed, and that was back in the day when social media just started to blow up. Mm-hmm. So I said, I would like to be your digital trend reporter. I'm going to start a segment, and it's going to be talking about keeping your community connected and social media and tech trends. And she said, I love it. Wow. Do you want to start next week? And maybe we'll start you as a freelancer. I said, done. I'll see you next week. So I went home. I typed up all this stuff on my computer, just great story ideas. And before I knew it, I was filling anchoring. And although I was part-time freelance, it still allowed me the time to spend with my family. So it gave me that flexibility. And I always try to discuss balance. And what is balance? It's really being happy. It's not. It's not putting all time into one thing. Correct. And
being able to diversify and do the different things that you're interested in or you have a passion for.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Wow.
So I always was good about that. If I wasn't 100% satisfied in something, I said, I got to change it. I got to do something else, or I have to change something. And before I knew it, we were moving back to New York for my husband's job. He's a sports medicine physician, so he got a great job opportunity back in New York, and that's where we're from. So we both went back, and while I was there, I started to audition for TV hosting jobs, because I said, you know what, news is great, but I'm kind of having fun with this, beat reporter and hosting gig, and my personality just really was, I guess, just really shining through in those types of positions.
And it's shining through right now. I see why you got all those jobs. Because if I had a job opening, I'm like, I want her. You bring so much energy. And so that's, I think, what they love about you.
Thank you. And my next job was lead host of AOL Live. It was their first live news programming venture. And it was exciting because it was brand new. So I had a lot to bring to the table with content creation and news writing. And I was on camera as the lead host. Wow. And from there, another life transition brought us here to Atlanta. And here I am. And throughout the course of this, I was auditioning for a lot of TV and film roles.
Yes. And we were just talking about that before.
I know.
You're just a wealth of so many things. You carry so much talent. And I think one of the biggest things I'm picking from just your background is your drive.
Yes.
And your ambition, and never letting any kind of negative situation hold you back and say, you know what, I'm giving up, I'm not doing it. You keep going.
Yes.
Even being a mom. I'm a mom too. And I'm just looking at you like, wow, I have somebody in there that knows what I'm going through.
Absolutely.
So how did you balance,
right,
all these different job changes,
right. Well,
family?
my main focus was being a mom, and I love being a mom, and I love my husband, and I love our family. Yeah. But I love my career too. Yes. So any job that had said, you need to sacrifice time, a lot of time away from home, like a network news anchor. I mean, you get a job where you have to travel all the time. Wow. That was not something I was willing to do. And I remember having a very serious conversation with my agent about that. And it was, listen, if there's a tsunami in Japan, you need to go cover it. And I don't know when you're going to come home, and I don't know how long that's going to be, but you need to be willing to make that sacrifice. And I really had to chew on that for a while. And I said, I've worked so hard to get where I am. The next logical step would be network news anchor, but I'm not willing to give up my life for it.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah, and I applaud those who do. We need amazing news anchors and journalists, and I really applaud their sacrifice.
Identify what is for you.
What is for you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
What is right for you?
That is awesome. That is so awesome. You have such a beautiful bio. I mean, the media could not contain everything. So that's why I love these conversations, because it brings out everything, right?
Yes.
So what kind of training is typically required to be on air, to be a news anchor?
Right, and we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
A news anchor or a journalist is a bit different from the TV host segue, because as a journalist, you're telling stories, you're reporting, you're researching, you're reporting on stories of the day. As a host, it could be anything from a TV show host or an expert host. So there are two very different avenues that you follow. Broadcast journalism, of course. Building your demo reel, getting news experience, getting an internship in a newsroom, really learning from news personalities and news directors and really learning the process and how that works. TV hosting is quite a different beast because it's more personality driven, and it's more, both are storytellers. You're storytellers in both ways. But TV hosting is more personality driven, and it's more content creation. So they're just two very different avenues. Yeah, it really depends on what you want to do.
So when people are in, let's just say, college, do they have courses, or is there, things that people can actually study to know the difference? Because initially I didn't know until I started hosting my own show. I'm like, yeah, there's a huge difference.
There's a huge difference. There's absolutely broadcast journalism schools and courses. I don't necessarily think there are TV hosting courses going on in college right now. Maybe I can change that. I don't know. If anybody wants me to come on board. But no, I think just getting your feet wet with broadcast journalism is a huge, huge step, because you're learning those core skills.
So what kind of degree should, a listener, that somebody listening say, if I want to go to college, mass comm or
mass communications, broadcast journalism. I was a mass communications major. I also minored in marketing. But yes, broadcast journalism, mass communications, those are the two main areas. Yeah.
And I know you're also an actress in this life.
Yes, I know.
Beautiful. And we're going to talk more about your acting, but what kind of skill sets is required? I know this is something that, you didn't really go to college for, but you have the skill set for it. So what are the things that you're seeing in some of the roles that you're getting that they're requiring you to have?
A lot of training, consistent training. I don't want to say a lot, but it's consistency.
Okay.
Getting used to auditioning. Auditioning is a huge, huge step, because if you can't perform in front of a casting director or a camera or in front of a room full of people, you're not going to succeed on set. And people don't know this, but when you're on set, I mean, you're in front of hundreds of people.
Wow.
You're not in front of, 5. You're in front of hundreds of people. There's cast, there's crew, there's other actors that are, sometimes a lot more experienced than you. So you have to feel comfortable in your craft and doing what you do in front of a ton of people. So auditioning consistently and training consistently, those are the two main. Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. So what are some common myths from your past working in TV that you think people,
probably myths? My goodness, common myths.
One, I would say, is when I'm watching a show,
that it's glamorous.
Yes,
that is the biggest myth that I get.
Because the makeup is always so phenomenal,
flawless. It must be so easy, glamorous for you to do. I said, do you know what goes into putting a TV segment together or a news package together? I mean, I used to do my makeup in car windows. That is like the furthest from glamorous. When I was a general assignment news reporter, I mean, you don't get paid a ton. I mean, you make very minimal a salary starting out. So you do your own hair, you do your own makeup, you're out in the field sweating and all these types of different elements, and you need to figure out a way to put yourself together before you do that live shot or that stand-up.
Wow.
And people just don't realize that. So,
but the TV, every time I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, wow, they look so good. I'm thinking you have a whole makeup room where you go and you pick out your outfit.
Oh, that comes later. That's like network level or higher ranked level. Definitely not local news.
Okay. Oh, so that's clear now.
Yes.
You're revealing some secrets.
Yes. So be kind to your to your on-air news personalities. They are going through a lot. during the day.
Wow. So what challenges have you had, through your work experience, and you've been able to overcome them definitely just by how successful you've become, but what are some of the just maybe one or two challenges and how you've been able to overcome it for people who are looking to go into this field?
Yeah, a couple of challenges that stand out to me were, one time I went to find a talent agent because I was done trying to find jobs on my own. I was doing fine, but I really wanted someone else to do the work for me finally. So I went to a few talent agencies in New York City, and I remember having an interview with a very high-powered executive, and he said, talent agent, and he said, they're really just not looking for your type.
Wow. And
I said, well, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're looking for something a little bit different. You're not ethnic enough. That's what I got a few times. Okay. Mm-hmm. So how do you read that? Do you read that I'm not the look that they're going for?
Exactly.
Am I not pretty enough?
What is that?
Am I
What's
not?
the definition?
There was really no explanation. So I had to take away from that. Okay, next.
Perfect.
Next,
Yeah.
So I found the right fit for me.
Yes.
So the challenges that I have are people maybe not believing in me at that moment that I believed in myself, and I had to just shoo that away.
Yeah. And be able to let it just slide off
and say, okay, thank
moving
you, next.
Yeah, you didn't let
moving
it hold
on.
you down. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And so after your long career in TV and as a TV producer, then anchor, what has made you decide to go into acting?
It was really. Goodness, I always had a love for acting. I always did, but I just never had made the time to invest. I just never invested the time into that career. But I had just happened to submit myself for an extra in a movie. It was a Lee Daniels movie named Precious, and I was just excited to be a part of the production and be on set, and it was just so exciting. And I remember it being in the dead of winter, and it was so cold, and we were shooting at night, and I said, was this a good idea? I don't really know if this was a really good idea. I mean, I just wanted to be a part of something fun. And when it was time for our time to come to set, it was really late at night and freezing cold, and they had called all the extras, and I was hired as an extra to be a TV news reporter. So I was in one of those mass, scenes where all the reporters are coming out at the lead and asking questions. So when we got to set, I remember thinking, all right, here's my time to shine. So I'm in the middle of like 500 people, and I have my little microphone, and before I know it, Lee Daniels gets out of the car, and I'm like, oh, wow. Is that him? So he comes out and he says, okay, I'm going to grab a few of you extras. We need someone to say a line. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is my chance. This is my shot. So I'm pushing my way up to the front, and I said, hi, can I, what can I do? What can I do? So he said, all right, I'm going to audition 3 of you, say these lines. So he gave us some lines to say, and I said, now is not a time to be shy.
Yes.
Don't be nervous. Just go for it. So I blocked everybody out. I mean, there were hundreds of people on the set. Wow. And I blocked everybody out, and I just looked right at him, and I said the line, and then he said, okay, now you say the line to someone else. And they said it, and he went back to me again, and okay, say it again. And then he went back to someone else. Okay, and then he went back to me a third time, and he said it again. And he goes, all right, you got it.
Wow.
So I was bumped up to a principal role in the movie as a red carpet reporter. And that really launched my career, because a lot of roles after that were a lot of newscaster roles, a lot of reporter roles, which of course, is typecast. And I was fine with that. It was getting me what I wanted, right? I mean, what's wrong with it? Mm-hmm. And I said, this is going to really kickstart something for me, because it's starting to churn a passion inside of me that I really like. And instead of carrying on this this stereotype, I said, I'm going to start to audition for different types of roles. And I had talked to my new agent about it, my TV and film agent here in Atlanta, and he said, we really need to start sending you out for more stuff. And I said, thank you. Thank you for not just seeing me as a newscaster. I really appreciate it. And sure enough, I booked a bunch of co-starring roles on some TV shows here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And the latest one I just did was Swamp Thing. I play a movie director in it, so that was a lot of fun.
And I was just talking to you about Swamp. I tried watching the preview. I was like, it's a horror movie.
Well, I didn't realize how scary. When we were shooting it, I was playing opposite Ian Ziering, and I, I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up watching Beverly Hills 90210. So when I got to meet him, he was just so super sweet, and we just really clicked, and we had a scene together, and I said, okay, now's your time to show everybody what you can do, right? So we did our scene, and I remember thinking, what a production this is. I mean, the production value was outstanding. They were doing, explosion scenes and, the steam off the swamps, and it was just amazing. I mean, everybody was just so amazing. And then when I saw the trailer, I got even more excited. I said, this is just
when I saw
cool.
the trailer, because when I see horror movies, I tell my daughter, I'm like, turn it off.
Yeah.
I can't, but because of you, I'm making a promise I will watch it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Maybe having you by my side, because I'm a scaredy cat. So,
I am too, so it'll be fun.
How is it though? When you're doing it, you don't get because you're on the set.
Right.
You see how it's really made.
Right.
But when we're watching it on TV, it looks so real.
Oh, I know it. And
awesome,
the makeup and costumes and wardrobe is just incredible. Just absolutely incredible.
Wow. Congratulations with that. And
Thank
we're
you.
looking forward to, when is that coming out again?
May 31st.
Oh my.
Yes.
It's in a few weeks.
Soon. It's in a few weeks.
Few days, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. So, can you share with us one thing that you do to prepare for your role? Because, like for me, I sing. So before I sing, I typically like to take deep breaths and listen to music. What do you do before you prepare?
Before I prepare for any role, I just go over it in my head 1,000 times. I say it in front of a mirror or my camera, typically in front of a mirror. In my car is pretty much my favorite go-to because it's the only quiet place I have.
Yes. I understand. I connect with you on that.
Yeah,
with our little kids.
Right. So whether it's for a TV role or a hosting role, it's really just going over the lines or going over my questions or just really being prepared for what I'm about to do with, if I'm interviewing somebody, I want to know their background. I'm going to research their projects. I'm going to talk about their home life and really get to know them a little bit better. So
you have to memorize the lines like word for word, or can you ad-lib?
In acting roles?
Yes.
Typically word for word, yes.
Okay.
The ad-libbing, I guess it really depends on the role. I try not to be too caught up with every single word because it really gets distracting. I practice like crazy, but I also am more focused on the feeling and the message that I'm trying to get across in the scene. So I really focus more on that than word for word. It's really just getting the message across.
Wow, awesome. So we're going to move now into you. You are so phenomenal because I saw the honors and achievements that you have.
Thank you.
And I was just wondering, so you're currently a member of the Screen Actors Guild and American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. That is awesome because just to get in is not easy. I was looking at the requirements and what you have to do to keep up to date with the license.
Right. I'm so grateful to the union. I mean, they really have our backs. I mean, I was just recently shooting a movie last week, actually, and a SAG representative came on set and said, is everything going okay? Let's check out your paperwork. Let's make sure everything is going well and you're being taken care of. And I thought that was awesome. I said, well,
that is really
good.
And
I said, thank you for what you do. I always make sure to show appreciation for people because number one, you never know what they're going through in their life, and number two, they're there for you, and you need to show them respect.
That is awesome. And then you also are an instructor at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting in Atlanta. What is that about?
I'm actually teaching this Saturday a TV anchor workshop this Saturday. Yes. I am an instructor for anchoring, reporting, stand-ups, TV and commercials. So it's really on an as-needed basis. They have a bunch of instructors, but that's really my expertise. So I go in when they need me, and they're wonderful over there. If you're looking for a long-term course in broadcast journalism, they're wonderful. Yes.
So let me just ask, how do you juggle all of this? I also juggle a lot, but I'm looking at your list and I'm like, well, she has a little bit more than I do. And how's she doing? Because we have kids almost the same age.
Yes. Well, I really take it on a day-to-day basis. Okay. I try not to get too overwhelmed, and I learned to say no to things. I learned to prioritize and say, is this going to benefit me in any way? Correct. Is it going to take away too much from another project that I'm doing? Or is this going to take me away too much from the kids this week? Or is it going to, and it all depends on the project. If it's worth it to be away for a couple of weeks or a long period of time and it's worth it for my family night, then yes, absolutely. Yeah. It really just depends on the benefits. I really have to weigh pros and cons with everything that I do.
That's awesome. Yeah. So now I want us to kind of go into the next segment. It's talking about the TV Hosting Academy, which is how I really connected with you guys.
My baby.
Nicole, when I started following her on LinkedIn, and I just really enjoyed some of the what do they call it on LinkedIn, where you put some of your notes or your sayings. And I was like, there's something about this woman, and you was just so intelligent. So tell us a little bit, or no, tell us about TV Hosting Academy.
How it all started.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what is it?
Yeah. Well, I started very organically by myself. It's a boutique talent development group. I mean, I really work with clients one-on-one on how to build their brand and really sharpen their on-camera skills, get them comfortable for media interviews, get them comfortable in front of a camera with a teleprompter, interviewing, co-hosting, creating their own show, creating their own content. And in this multimedia age, everyone can get themselves out there. It's just a matter of what value are you adding? And you really have to ask yourself that. I get a lot of people who ask me, well, I want to be a host, but I don't really know. And I said, well, what value can you add? What value can you offer to people and your viewers or your followers or your listeners? And that's something that they really have to think about, because if you're a great personality, that's awesome. Yeah. But what else can you offer?
And I think that's so key, because now we're in an age where everybody has access to YouTube. Everybody's creating their own channels. But what are you being able to distinct yourself by, Lori?
Exactly.
What
being
value
authentic.
are you adding? Being authentic.
Well, no one is you. I mean,
Correct.
You have to really know who you are and what you can offer to people, and your authenticity is what's going to sell you.
Awesome.
So everyone wants to see the real you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that's.
So what are the things that you offer at the
Sure.
TV Hosting Academy?
Sure. Well, I offer one-on-one virtual sessions, which has been extremely beneficial to a lot of my clients because they get that customized attention. We work on strategic planning for their career. We work on a lot of their on-camera skills. We work on building their brand and establishing their niche, which is so important. Yeah. We have to really decipher, do you want to be a presentational host, or do you want to be an expert host, or do you want to be an influencer? There's so many different avenues that you can go, and you really need to get focused on it, or else it's all going to go out the window and you're going to wind up putting so many hours into something that's not going to turn into anything. So it's really about having me as a partner walk you through this journey.
I like that partner.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I am. I'm a partner. I'm not someone that's going to tell you what to do. We're going to work together and we're going to figure this out, and we're going to go through your experience and your passions with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm going to see with my experience, okay, where does this person fit?
Gotcha.
Let me give them some resources and tools and suggestions on where they should look further, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, awesome. And I know we're so lucky actually to have one of your clients who has dialed in. Yes. And so can you introduce her to us?
Oh my goodness. She is just amazing. She is a doer. Her name is Casey Hall, and she is a mom to 4 boys also.
Wow,
so
Casey.
She is a master juggler. But what I love about Casey is that when she came to me, she knew what she wanted to do, and she did it. She took my suggestions and she took my advice, and she said, I'm gonna do it. And within a week, she had her demo reel done. She had her website done. I was so excited for her because she is a doer. So, without further ado, Casey,
drum roll.
How are you? Drum roll, Casey.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Casey.
I'm so happy to join you and so honored.
Thank you, Casey, for joining us. So, Casey, I want you to tell me, Nicole has told us everything about her, but I want you to tell us what have you gotten out of working with Nicole? Because my goal is people listening, I want them to be able to say, you know what, I am signing up for her classes once we get off the show. So tell me, what did you gain and what value did you get out of it?
Oh, my gosh. Nicole has added so much value to my life. I just got brave enough this year. As Nicole said, I'm a mom of 4 boys. I just got brave enough to say, you know what? I am feeling so great about myself. I'm feeling so confident. I've always wanted to be an on-air personality, TV hosting. And I did a lot of research. And Nicole had actually written an article on a website called Backstage about TV hosting. And I said, this is the person I have been looking for my whole life. Nicole is so smart and so savvy, and so our time together has been so productive. We have Skype sessions. She has been with me every step of the way, and I feel so empowered working with Nicole. She is a great cheerleader, and she gives amazing constructive criticism as well. Wow. So,
And I'm just
I
thinking,
can't
like
say enough
listening to
fabulous
everything that you've listed here, if you were to go to a establishment to get, it's probably going to be so expensive. And to have her be that partner, I think that is awesome. We don't have too many of that, like having a consultant that can work with you on this. Wow, this is awesome. So Casey, one word that you would use to describe Nicole.
Productive. Just every minute I spend working with Nicole, I come out of it feeling like I've climbed a mountain.
Wow.
Because she will customize this plan for you and tell you, okay, today this is what we're doing. We're talking about how you're going to put your message out. How are you going to brand yourself on social media? Okay, how are we going to do this? Or let's talk about how your agent search. I mean, Nicole has helped me draft emails to send out to agents. And what do I say? What do I do? How do I present myself? How do I not undervalue myself?
Wow, that is
because,
awesome.
you know, even as a mom, I want to say, well, I'm a mom of 4 boys. I'm doing this, but I really like to get into this arena. Nicole's like, no, you're already doing it. Wow. You're already writing. You're already producing. You're already doing these things. So present the truth. That so, you are a doer and you're doing it. And it just has instilled so much confidence in me.
That is so awesome. So can I say, are you ready now to get on TV?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I think I have my first audition next week
wow,
for a game show hosting thing. And so my goal is to book one job. And I feel like I'm getting there. And I have a great network of family and friends that are also helping me. And even though I have a great network, Nicole has helped me how to constructively network with the people I already have in my life.
Well, that is beautiful.
So it's just been fantastic.
Thank you so much, Casey. I mean, it means a lot for you to actually call in and say such great things about Nicole. Nicole, what do you have to say to Casey before she leaves?
I'm just so grateful for her, and I'm just so proud of her. She really has come so far in just such a short amount of time. Yeah. She has a big audition next week, and I feel like it's mine. I'm just so excited. So I can't. I'm like, okay, so when's the audition? When, tell me how it goes, and I just want to hear all about it. And I truthfully want all of my clients to succeed. That is awesome. Really at the bottom of my heart.
Wow. So guys, you're listening. You hear the passion in her voice. Definitely tune in. Go to her website. What's your website again?
tvhostingacademy.com.
Awesome. Yes. Awesome. So now, Casey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We really
Thanks
appreciate
for having
you.
me.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the questions. I think that is so awesome to actually have clients come and she has an audition next week.
She has an audition next week, and she has been doing everything that we've talked about, and it's just, that's such a great example of taking charge and not letting anything hold you back. It's just really just going for it. For it. Wow. Yeah, I'm really proud of her.
So, Nicole, can you share with us any kind of upcoming projects that you're working on and how we can connect with you?
Yes. So I have a workshop coming up May 19th. It's a Sunday from 4 to 7 right here in Atlanta. It's being held at Catapult Acting Studios, and it's a TV hosting workshop, broadcasting boot camp. We cover everything from finding your brand, building your brand, finding your niche, co-hosting, interviewing, teleprompter, which is huge for any speaker or any host, and really sharpening those on-camera skills. So that's coming up May 19th. Mm-hmm. That's Sunday.
Wow.
Yes. And then I'm also teaching at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting this coming Saturday.
So is that you would like every week?
No, that's not every week. That's something that you would have to enroll in through Connecticut School of Broadcasting. So you would have to reach out to them directly. But those are things that are kind of on my schedule just this month. But yeah, so that's the teaching aspect of it, and with acting, it's just it just keeps on.
And so
going.
we have the DC Universe Swamp Thing coming out May 31st.
May 31st. Yes.
All right. So what are your how can people connect with you? Social media.
Yes.
You've already told us
Absolutely.
about your website.
So the website is tvhostingacademy.com. My email is nicole@tvhostingacademy.com, and I of course am on Instagram. You can either follow me at TV Hosting Academy or at The Real Nicole Sellars. I have two. Yes.
Nicole, thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much for
joining me.
having me.
I
You
really
are
appreciate
wonderful.
it.
Thank you for having me. It's an
I
honor.
really think it's just an honor to have you
Thank
on
you.
Soul Talk with WURA and share with us one of the wonderful things that you've done, what you've achieved, and
Thank you.
actually to be willing to take all the skill set and training and pour it
Yes.
out into other people so they can be successful.
Right, and professionals as well. I mean, I think in any aspect of your life, when you're a professional, really getting comfortable talking to media or getting on camera as an expert.
Yeah.
So anyone out there who is a professional, like a doctor, a lawyer, a financial expert, if you want to get on camera as this on-air contributor or guest speaker, you need that training to speak in sound bites and so.
Thank
I
you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Nicole. We
Thank
really appreciate it. And I
you.
hope we can have you back on sometime.
I would love it.
Thank
I would
you.
love it. Thank you.
So, guys, there you have it. We have had the beautiful, smart, intelligent Nicole Sellars on the show. I want to thank you all for listening. I want you to join me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on V1075 Atlanta. And you can listen to the previous shows on my website, www.soultalkwithwura.com. Until next time, keep living soulfully.
Oh, yeah.